Hello, welcome to another episode of Check That Post podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and these are my beautiful co-hosts,
Christina,
Marjorie,
Ebony,
and my co-host, Margaret Queen Anne, is feeling a little under weather, so we hope that y'all say a little prayer for her that she get better real soon.
We're missing you.
Yes, we are. So, before we get into our topic, talking about toxic relationships and how to overcome it, how was your day?
My day was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm just happy to be here, happy to be off. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yes.
So I'm just happy to be here with you ladies. My day was good.
Okay. Marjorie?
my day was pretty well. I got a little bit of rest. So, I went to work. And after that, I just kind of slept.
Are you looking good?
Thank you.
And we have a guest. Would you like to tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do?
My name is Ebony. I do a lot, but our Christina's daughter and my daughter brought us together, so I'm happy
They
to
are
come
best
in and
friends.
best friends, born a day apart. Thing one, thing two.
Right.
But,
Literally.
But I do a lot of different things, but we're not getting into all of that. But my day was very productive. Unlike some of my days this week. So
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yours?
my day was fast and furious. No, I'm just kidding. It's over. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm chilling. Okay. But we hope y'all lovely people out there had a great day as well.
Yeah. Any day you alive is a great day.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Make the best of it.
All right, let's get into it. So, let's check that post on that toxic relationship. Okay, ladies, who want to go first? I know we all done experienced this, so
Yeah.
let's get into it.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go first. Now, as far as a toxic relationship, I've been in a relationship where I'm gonna say other people were toxic and they were like trying to place that toxicity into our relationship. I don't know if it was purposely or if it was just because that's how they were, but like me and my mate were not toxic people,
Okay.
but it was like one person that was just like trying to bring that into us, and it did get in there and separate us, but we still not toxic people, neither one of us. But during that time that we were together, he allowed that person to come in between us and just do toxic things. Like, again, we're not toxic people, but like when you got somebody in your ear, like, well, try to do this and do that and do that and do this. She doing this, oh, do that. She doing this, you should do that. So like it was just like a bug in your what they call, how you got the angel on one side and the devil over here was just like the devil just like, yeah.
Were you young?
I was about 21.
We thought still trying to figure it
age.
out, taking the wrong people's advice,
Right.
Not listening to our own intuition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like, I just knew then that that was a situation that I needed to get out of. And I did that. There was another time where, we weren't actually in a relationship, but we were like in a situationship, I guess you can call it, and we were heavy in the situationship. And it was toxic. It wasn't always, of course, it did start that way, but the more time that went by, the more toxic it got. And I mean, nobody but God had to get me out that situation. So
Yeah.
it took nobody but Him, nothing but Him, to make me be able to walk away from that toxic situation and to open my eyes up to realize that it's toxic. Like, because I mean that was the hardest part right there. Like, just realize that, okay, take it for what it is. Like, when somebody show you who they are, believe them.
That's
the
right.
first time. Like, don't let them keep, doing the same thing over and over, repeating the same cycle. So, that's.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, you know what I kind of find like is the hardest part to most people that people don't even realize is holding themselves accountable.
Right.
As far as allowing one to get so far and do so, or get your mind to a place where you know that that's not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're too busy trying to invest into this relationship.
Right.
You see the potential. You want something to come out of it. Sometimes you just gotta leave it where it's at. Yeah. But you gotta hold yourself accountable first and know who you are, so you can start feeling those red flags and say, hey, you know what? No, I'm gonna leave this here.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's the problem. We fall in love with a person's potential instead of who they really are.
Right.
But sometimes it takes going through that to recognize that is the case. So yeah, been there, done that.
I think people's definition of love is different. You know what I mean? Like, going through all the different things I've been through, our different relationships I've been through, to me, love is loyalty. And the only way to get loyalty is time. You know what I mean? So you can't say you love somebody. Well, I can't say I love somebody that's not loyal to me. You know what I mean? So in order to, like, love is going to develop over that time anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With us being good to each other. So I just feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, I lust after this person. I like this person. Physically they look good, or financially they fit in my life, or however, or it's a trauma bond, and then all of a sudden it's love. It's not love, and sometimes we don't recognize what love is and what the toxicity is, and we just feel what we want to feel, and then that's when the snowball effect happens.
Right. And also sometimes we can fall in love with the idea of falling in love, or just the thought of, say, get married just because you can say I'm married, or I had a wedding, or whatever the case may be. You know, people do different things for different reasons. Not knocking nobody for what they do. So
we all gotta learn.
Yeah, because I've been through that too. So, Miss Margie.
I feel like I've experienced what Tina was talking about. I feel like I experienced being actually with a toxic partner, and I also feel like at one point I was the toxic person. And I'll just speak on the time when I became toxic. At first, it was the partner, and then because I was hurt so bad, I decided to be toxic to yes. So, and it's actually kind of easy to fall into that role. I mean, hurt people.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, but some of like the things I wish I would have known beforehand was isolation was a big thing. The first step was just me, kind of shutting down from a lot of people, or not feeling safe to talk to people or even my family. That was the first downfall. And so if you ever wonder, like, what's some signs to look out for like somebody that might be controlling, they'll try to cut all your communication off.
People,
Yeah. So
have you dependent on them and them alone.
Yep. And you'll be so weak mentally that you can't even think past being with them, even though they're torturing you. It's like you'll just stay stuck after you become isolated. So one thing that I made sure I did when I met my husband was I made sure I kept that line of communication open with my family. and luckily he's not toxic at all. But I just wanted to be on the safe side because I didn't want to repeat the same steps that I repeated before. And it took me a while to catch on. Like, it's okay to have friends. It's okay to stay in contact with your family. And it's okay to have your own bubbly personality. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't somebody shouldn't be able to make you feel like you're out doing something that you're not just because you're being yourself. So that's another thing. Don't let people take you away from you. Like, you should be able to feel free as a person, just like they should be able to feel free as a person. And whatever insecurities you have shouldn't be able to shut the other person down. Like, deal with your own insecurities on your own. So that's like 2 things I learned, which is plenty more lessons I probably learned, but that's the 2 I'm speaking on, at this moment. Because they're huge. They play a big part in being in a toxic relationship. Just those 2 things, like being shut down as a person, losing yourself, and then having that communication cut off from the world. Those 2 things alone would make anybody lose their mind.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I agree. When you said, cutting you off, it happens. It's real. That's for real. Like, and it might not even seem like that, but that's exactly what's going on. Like, they want you to be dependent on them. Like, you can't count on them. Let them let you down one time. Then they like the biggest meanie in the world. Like it's just like it's a mind thing, and they just be trying to play on your mind and manipulate you to make you think.
I think that's a weak mindset. You know what I mean? Because why do you feel like you have to manipulate someone to get them to do the task?
Right.
Or are you? And the thing about it is, what they want is not what they're willing to give.
Right.
So that's what the manipulation comes in at, because they know that if it's not an equal playing ground, then they're gonna have to trick you into doing it, because you're not gonna be women like us won't be just willing to just keep doing everything if you're not giving anything.
Right.
So.
Well, one of the things when you recognize the signs or symptoms, then going forward, once you get away from that situation, you already know. You know what you don't want, so you know what to look for. Well, not necessarily that you're looking for it, but you'll be able to recognize it, I should say. Yeah. So if it start happening again, and sometimes we attract that. I mean, it's sad to say we get out of an abusive relationship and then we attract it not knowingly and see somebody else and start dating them and they have those same traits. But we don't recognize it until we're in it. And then it happens all over again. So you have to be strong enough to cut it loose, let it go, check yourself, spend some time with yourself.
I want to add on to what you were saying, because if we go back to my last 2 relationships, I went in with the discernment of the things I learned from that relationship, and I brought it into the new relationship. But the kicker was, his red flags was something completely different, and I wasn't even looking for them. And that's what got me, because I'm sitting here looking for red flags from what he did, and he playing a whole new game I ain't even seen, and
he threw a blue flag.
Right.
Red pill, blue pill. Which one you gonna take?
I'm telling you, so.
It sometimes that does happen, because where you might have, I speak on my own experience. My experience for one relationship was physical abuse, and the next experience was mental abuse. So they 2 totally different things, yet the same. So because they're both abuse, so you do have to just keep your eyes open. Don't go in blindly, just thinking, oh, all is right with the world. We all want all to be right with the world, but reality is sometimes that's not the case. So
all is right with the world, and there's something wrong.
And I mean, and there's nothing wrong with being in love, because I'm all for that. Y'all already know I'm all for that. But you also want to go with think with your heart and your head. Don't just be led by your feelings, because I ain't gonna necessarily say that it's your heart. It
Right.
might just be a feeling.
Right.
And then tomorrow you wake up, you don't feel the same.
Right.
They may say something, and you be like, you know this term, love is blind.
Yes. Yes. But it's not ignorant though. But
Yeah, it's getting
we
there.
act like it though.
Let's get that. But you know what? We do a lot of stuff in the name of love.
Yes,
So, you know.
And
But,
don't need
to
love.
each his own. Again, you know, you fall in love and you fall out of love, if that's really your thing. But you know, it's all good. Like there's nothing wrong with falling in and falling out of love, because you're gaining experience regardless of what you're doing.
Yes.
But that's the perspective you have to have.
Yes.
You know, once this past recent breakup happened, of course I was in my feelings, but I had to change my perspective, because I feel like everything you go through in life is a waste of time if you don't take something out of it. You know what I mean? And I had to learn to find a silver lining in these situations. In this particular situation, I found a silver lining, and it helps me sleep at night. And do I regret? The only thing that I would say that I wouldn't do again is every day, like at some point things change. And every day after work I call my home girl, like there's something not right. I swear to God, something not right, girl. And I just, you know, every day, and it was just like, but I still wouldn't make the action to move forward to just end it. You know what I'm saying? I even got to a point I was like, you know, I don't care if I'm wrong. I would rather be wrong than right. You know what I'm saying? And I still didn't do it. So at this particular point where I'm at in my headspace is, I need to stew in this for a minute. And I need to stew in it because I didn't even listen to myself. I was telling myself every day, and I still couldn't even listen to myself. So you need to stew in this, so you can understand this feeling, and it reminds you that you don't want to go back here anymore. So when you start getting these feelings, intuitions, you need to start listening to yourself. It's the one thing not to listen to other people's advice, but when you don't listen to yourself and you were right, you know what I'm saying? Like that hit different.
Yeah. I would encourage any person, be it woman or man, if your instincts is telling you something, you may not always act on it, but at least look into it. Like, check it out. Because that instinct is not there for no reason.
Right.
It's there to help to guide you and guide you in the right direction.
I knew what it was. I just didn't want it to be there.
Do you care to elaborate on?
What as far as what caused us, or what part do you want me to elaborate on?
I mean, whatever you feel comfortable.
What made you feel uncomfortable?
Well, in the beginning of the relationship, it was just everything was good. You know, he was chasing me, and it took 6 months before we even got to a point where he asked me if we could officially start dating. And I was like, I'm not sure, but we can take it one day at a time. So at this point, I'm feeling good about this because he's pursuing me. I'm not chasing this man. So as time goes on, everything's good. It's all I miss you. We've been all day. You know, just all those little innuendos and whatnot. And eventually, it was just like a shift. And he just wasn't doing the same stuff. And I was just seeing stuff, and I was just asking, and it was just like, oh, no, you overthink stuff. And no, that's not what it is. And you know me. And then this little stuff he used to say, just when he said it, I heard it the way he meant it. You know what I'm saying? Versus the way he thought I heard it. Like, for example, one of the things was he had mentioned to one of my kids was, yeah, your mom won't have to break up with me. I ain't gonna break up with your mom. I heard, I'm gonna make you break up with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even it doesn't matter how bad things are, I'm gonna make you break up with me. So when things hit the fan, I'm gonna say, you broke up with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, if something, and then that actually came to pass, because when things had got rough, I was like, you know, I don't want to deal with this no more. And about 4 hours later, I was doing something else. But you broke up with me though. But you already got this going on. You already got something you already had going on. You know what I mean? But it was a lot of mind games. It was a lot of me questioning myself, and that's why I said, you know, at this point, I'm just like, you know who you are. Don't you let somebody who don't even know you come here and change the way you think, rearrange the way you think about yourself. It took you a long time to get here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And everything about yourself that you think is valid, you got the receipts to prove it. Don't you ever let somebody come and change, especially if they don't even got going on what you got going on. But just the way that things happen, how I found out is the kicker to me, because it was so disrespectful. And it was just, if you don't like me, you don't want to be with me, you want to end a relationship, you simply just say that.
Right.
But I had a key to his apartment, and come up whenever you wanted. He gave it to me in the beginning of the relationship, and it was just arguments started, and if he started arguing with me, I ain't coming over here. He knew that. He banked on it. So it started argument. And this one particular night, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna lay in bed. I ain't even gonna argue with him. I had been on my family all day, and when I got over there, somebody had already beat me to it. And I just stood over them, and I was just watching them like they was in the bed asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, like you could tell what had just went on and all that stuff. I mean, for you to be so comfortable,
Right.
to sleep, and I gotta keep
Key to your darn house.
You know what I mean?
I don't
So
understand
disrespectful. And it took a minute for it to even sink in. But once it did, oh Jesus, let's just fast forward. Called me 48 hours later. Same girl.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. At that point, it was just like the way that it came off was, this is one time thing, it just happened, blah blah blah. But my intuition tells me now all that stuff you was feeling, all that stuff you was seeing, that's what it was. But I didn't want to believe it just yet. So when I caught you 48 hours later, it was just like, all right, you made your choice.
For real,
You made your choice. I'm not gonna chase after anybody who don't. You know what I mean? But the simple part about it is, I didn't have to find it that way. I shouldn't have had to walk in there and see that. You could have simply said, I don't feel the same way about you anymore, and it's nothing I could have done.
Right, but
you don't drag somebody through the mud who has never done it. I was loyal to you. I was transparent with you. You know what I mean? And so you took that as a weakness. But what you fail to understand, it's two sides to every scale. You know, some of the meanest people can be some of the sweetest people, but you won't ever know until you flip that switch. You know what I mean? So I just had to remember who I was, and at the end of the day, she had a smirk on her face. She thought it was funny, but just know, I took the thrill out of it for her, because the simple fact that you ain't got to sneak behind my back no more. So now your position of this man not having any obligations to you has changed, because now you got me out the picture. Now you expect him to be your man.
Right.
You expect him.
Common sense would say, if he do this to her,
Right.
He gonna do
Right.
the same thing.
Right. But that's how we set ourselves up, because we thinking we got it. It's going to make him change and make him do this. And it might be great right now, even though I'm out the picture, everything might be going just the way you think it's going, because that's how it went for us before it went left. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, the way you came into that, you'll never get no more respect than how you came into it, because you were okay with being that side chick. You was okay with running around doing all this stuff behind my back. So what makes you think he won't ever have any respect for you? And so at the moment when you're bored, or he get bored with you, guess what? Since your position is vacant, got to be filled, baby. The problem is him. But you over here trying to fight with me over this man. We are black women. We're supposed to respect each other, respect each other's relationships and things like that. We don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's sad. It's really sad, because at the end of the day, he doesn't even feel like he done anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's something wrong with him, and he has a lot of issues. I'm not even gonna get into his issues, but I wish him the best of luck. I wish him the best of luck, and I hope she has that same smirk on her face when she is standing in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that helps me sleep, because I know that the cycle didn't end with me. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get everything that you bargained for, a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, let's go and get her back.
Yeah. So
That's for sure.
So when
take
you
care
saw
of me.
those red flags, did that kind of like make you pull back?
it did. It made me pull back emotionally, because I'm a Pisces and I love hard. I'm very emotional. But I watch people. I'm very intuitive. You know what I mean? So you can say it's this, but if your actions not matching up, and I know what your actions used to be, you can't tell me I'm making up stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just how it used to be. So you overthink things. Nah, I ain't crazy. But and I used to tell my time, I'm watching. Just know I'm always taking note. So if you start switching up, I'm gonna notice.
Right.
Yeah. So
And you know, that's the problem. Sometimes men underestimate women. They think that because you're not speaking on it, that you're not paying attention. But you know, you can be catching it all. You're just not saying nothing. Then when the moment strike, when the moment comes, you just strike like a snake.
And maybe that's part of the problem, though. Maybe like speak on it every time you feel that way. Speak on it, because
don't let it build up. Don't let it pile up. And then all of a sudden, boom, you just unleash the beast. Like
I've always spoke on it. I just never acted on it. I should have just. And you know, it was the time I ghosted him. In the beginning of the relationship, I just ghosted him.
Yeah.
And he pulled up at my house and he was just like, "Don't you ever, like, if you ever got anything wrong, you want to talk to me, tell me." Like, I mean, this man was chasing me. And then all of a sudden, it was just a complete switch. He never told me what it was or anything to that nature. And it's like, if that was the case, then you a freak, go do what you want to do.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to chase somebody I want to.
No.
But that's what I don't get. Like, you chase somebody down, like you
Just
pursue
do
them.
all of that.
But you know, in your heart of hearts, you have no intentions of taking it there.
Right.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
Why are you wasting her time and your time?
Met my family.
That don't make sense.
My
to me.
grandmother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, deep. I met your family stayed all the way in DC. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, kids are entwined. Like, this all of this, and it was making plans to go get a bigger place. Like, I'm gonna keep my house, of course, but you know, just make building together. And every time I brought up something, it was just like, oh, you making up stuff, but you're still making plans to build. So it's not like you just completely just started drifting off, and I'm just trying to make this work. Like, you're dragging me along. You know what I mean? And it's just like, none of that was necessary. I guess it was a kick for you. You got your.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I would love for a male to break that down to me, because I'm sure it's like some male out there that done been through that, done did that before. I would love for a male to break that down for me, because I can't understand for the life of me
I
why.
think it's a person who doesn't love themselves. I honestly, from his upbringing, you know what I mean. Mother was a prostitute that was on drugs, left him in the hospital, don't know who his daddy is, grew up in the system, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a person who don't even know how to love themselves. So you can't give love to other people if you don't know how to love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to try to keep giving all this what you think is love. And it was even times where he was just like, oh, well, you need to stop doing this and you need to stop doing that. And at first I considered it. And I was just like, well, when you stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. Why I got to be the only one to change? Why I got to change to your liking? Why we can't change together?
Right.
So once I started and held accountable, because you think this is your world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what is some advice that anybody can give to someone that's stuck in that similar position where they love this person and they want to be with this person and they're giving this person everything they got, but it's really just not going nowhere, and he's pretty much doing all the symptoms, she's getting all the red flags. What advice would you give her going forward?
Something I learned was to set some boundaries and stand on them.
Absolutely.
Kind of just like you would do a child.
But people think when you set boundaries that you're not going to lose people. That's when you start losing people, because some people are not okay with the boundaries.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What advice I would give her, just looking at my past, if all the people I was with, I saw potential. You know what I'm saying? I'm building these people up. They're getting their cars, they're getting their bills, they're getting their finances together and stuff, and I'm helping them with that. And all of them left me high and dry. And I sat back and I thought about it one day. I said, you know what? If I put the same energy into myself, then I'm putting it to these other people and giving it back to me. You know how far I could keep right now?
Absolutely.
It's only up from here.
So think about you. Where do you want to be?
Right.
Do you want to be pouring energy into somebody who's not reciprocating, or do you want to go further because you know that you can produce the energy that you need to go forward? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I want to just build me, work on me, and if my guy comes along the way, you know, then hey, okay, let's keep going down this journey together. But if not, then get out the way.
I know that's
right. I'm only going this way. Like,
Towards my happiness. Towards my happiness.
So yeah, I agree to that definitely. Just put yourself first.
Amen. I'm all for that.
Put yourself first.
And like the old folks say, keep living.
Oh yeah.
You're going to experience some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got a little bit of time left for dear Jen or two. Dear Jen, I live with my boyfriend of 3 years, and we argue about everything. I mean everything. If I leave the light on too long, it's a fight. What? If I forgot to pay the water bill, it's a fight. If I don't feel like cooking after working all day, it's a fight. I'm tired of fighting. It's draining. What can I do to stop the fussing and fighting every day? Signed, frustrated.
Turn that light off, pay that water bill.
Right. I mean, the water bill, that's a reason.
Honestly, it sounds like it's something deeper than the surface argument.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to get down to the root of it, to whatever the issue really is.
I agree.
But you still gonna have to pay that water bill.
Yes, ma'am.
I would suggest maybe getting back to the basics. Reignite y'all dating life. Even if you ain't got a lot of money to go out and do something, maybe do a little picnic or something.
Right.
Like make it super simple. Do something out of the norm to rebuild that bond between y'all. Remember where you started,
Right.
and where y'all love first ignited, and get that back going first, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely say, because it sounds like they've probably been together for a while, and we all know that some people grow up, and sometimes when you grow up, you grow apart. You know, and what you thought was what it wasn't, you know, and it isn't, and your partner might not be growing in the same direction that you're growing in, and sometimes you need to sit down and reevaluate who you are and what you want to do, and see if that aligns with your partner, because you can't do anything without somebody, your partner being supportive of you, because if they're not being supportive of you, they're draining you, because they're going to want your attention elsewhere versus telling you, hey, babe, go ahead and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. You got anything? I got you. You know what I mean? So if you're not on that same playing field, you're not going in the same direction, y'all need to figure out what you want to do with your relationship and move forward. Because if not, then you're going to continue to be arguing and being frustrated.
And I would say, to add to that, stop and think about, is it really that big of a deal?
Right.
Like, before you, because everything don't have to be said.
Absolutely.
You don't have to speak on every single thing. So if it's not that big of a deal, let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, they ain't gonna argue about themselves.
Right.
So be like, okay, boo, I got you.
Do you want to
Like,
be right?
is it really that big of a deal?
Right. Yeah.
Pick your battles, honey. Pick your battles.
Absolutely.
You ain't gotta fuss and argue about everything.
Right.
You ain't gotta always be heard. Because you know your position and he know your position. And so at the end of the day, does it really matter?
If you that tired, at the end of the day, I ain't got to injure you. You got it. You got it, baby.
Right.
Say I'm sorry sometimes if you're not already doing it. Just be like, I'm sorry, I was just really tired. Can you help me?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I hope
you know what I'm saying?
you guys are helping each other.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't want to cook, then maybe you should cook that day or something.
Or y'all cook together.
Right. Yeah. Both of y'all get in there.
Turn some music on.
Cut the time down in half. Both of y'all
create
in there
the partnership that you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's gonna make it. It's not gonna fall in your lap. You have to do the work to create it. Both parties are gonna have to sacrifice.
Right.
And sacrifice doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna hurt. It just means you're gonna have to probably do something outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, that you don't normally do.
And if y'all building together, like do it together. Get out ahead of it. Cut the light off before they can say, put the light off.
The light off.
Pay the water bill before they can say, did you pay the water bill?
Pay attention.
Cook before they can say, baby, I'm hungry.
Right.
You know what that remind me of?
Shut it down.
It remind me of my kids. It makes me so mad because I'll start. They know what I'm fussing about. So if you know what I'm fussing about, why you just didn't do it? You know what I'm saying? So if you want to better that aspect, if you know what irks them, pay attention to your partner. If you know what irks them, then try to put an effort forward to not do that. You know what I mean? Especially if it's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, just cut off a light or to remind yourself. To me, it kind of sounds as personally, it's some personal things you need to work on. You know what I mean? As far as holding yourself accountable, as far as what are you doing wrong that you could do better?
Yeah.
That's gonna make the situation better. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the person all the time, but sometimes we do need to better ourselves, and we don't like to admit that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just look in the mirror, talk to your partner, communicate, be transparent.
And then too, sometimes those are attention getters. I'm gonna leave this light on because I know he don't like that. You know, just to irritate him.
Don't do that. You don't want.
Okay, before this train comes, we have one more, dear Jen. Dear Jen, my life is full of drama. My girl can't stop being messy and I'm sick of it. Oh my God, it's from a dude. I look for reasons not to come home, just so I don't have to deal with it. Please advise, I need peace. Just over it.
I mean, you might need to go home. I mean, she might not want you away from home all the time.
Yeah, that might be part of it.
And listen to what she's saying, because she's probably telling you every day what's bothering her, and you so busy trying to plan how to be out all night, you're not listening to what's making her frustrated.
And I'm going to give some personal advice for any woman out there that's going through any toxic situation. And I know we talk a lot about relationship. I mean, I'm going to say, if you can, be that man's peace. Make it where he want to come home. But not just be his peace, be your own peace.
Absolutely.
Like, have peace within yourself. Then you won't seek out drama or negative attention. Like, be calm, be cool, be collected. Never let them see you sweat. See, the problem is we sweat a lot of the small stuff unnecessarily. We don't have to go through life like that. That's a lot of unnecessary tension and drama. Then you all uptight and snapping at everybody. So, honey, it ain't that serious. Just be you, be cool, be calm, and be collected. And that's my take on it.
I hope she watching so she can write a letter and we can get her side.
It's always the other side.
Yes, I think people just need to be working on self-fulfillment, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you can't look back and say, oh, so far I didn't get to do this, or I was so invested in my relationship I didn't do that. You didn't take the time to do things that make you happy, to fulfill you. So we all need to work on that. And if you meet somebody along the way, then it's going to be a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand that type of journey that you're on. But us forcing these puzzle pieces and end up with heartbreak and depression and stuff like that, this is the year 2024. This is the year I ain't heard no more. The last version of me you met, I'm not hurt no more. You know what I'm saying?
You always keep growing. Keep growing and keep going.
Amen.
Well, y'all, this has been another good episode, good conversations at Check That Post Podcast. Follow us on TikTok and Facebook at Check That Post Podcast, and on YouTube at Check That Post Pod. Hit the subscribe and like button and turn on your notifications, so every time we go live, then you'll be able to tune in. Write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com or text 866-311-2251 if you have a story to tell, because we want to hear it.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank y'all.